We're already more than halfway through the year, and it's crazy how much things can change in just a few months. I think back about some of the goals that I set for myself in January, and some of them I've achieved them, and then some of them I realized they no longer are aligning with what I want. And so this week, my plan is to do a 7-day mid-year reset. And this is not a complete overhaul, but it's more of a course correction. For me, it's so much easier when I know what my goals are and I know what my vision board looks like, and then I can align my habits and routines with that so that I can actually achieve my goals. And when they're not updated or I feel like they're not aligned with me, I'm less likely to push forward towards them. And it's okay if your goals or your vision has changed a lot for yourself since January, because we evolve and we change and circumstances happen, and maybe we achieve our goals faster, or maybe we realize that that wasn't the path for us. And so if you've been feeling a little bit out of rhythm, I hope this gives you ideas and motivation to do your own mid-year reset. Today we're going to do our goal audit and identity check-in. The point of this is to find out if our goals are still aligned with the person that we want to become. There was many goals that I put on this list that have already been achieved, but then I also have a few goals on here that I'm realizing might have been a little bit too high, and I was shooting for the stars a little bit. I wrote my goals on my notes on my computer. This way I could reference back to it on my phone whenever I needed to, and it was just the easiest for me to find and create this way. And so you're also gonna wanna look at the goals that you set and reflect on them. Why did you want this at the start of the year versus now? Have your priorities changed? Did you prioritize this goal? It's so easy to put so many goals down for the year and then not actually ever prioritize them. To achieve goals, you're going to have to actually set aside time for these things. For me, one of my goals this year was to start speaking Swedish. And although I have been practicing my Swedish every day on Duolingo, I've only been practicing for like 2 minutes every day. And I really need to change this goal to like 20 minutes of practicing Swedish every single day. And this is another reason why doing a mid-year audit is so good, because maybe you still have the same goals, but you're realizing what it takes to actually achieve the goals. And now you can actually structure a better plan of action for it. I try to have goals in different categories. So having like personal development, which in my case is learning a new language, like wellness and fitness goal, which for me is gaining more muscle this year. Having a personal life goal. My personal life goal this year was to get my wedding planned. And then friendships and relationship goals. And for me, one of my big goals this year was to make 5 new friends since I just moved to a new city. And then you can also have family goals. My recommendation is to set less goals and actually achieve them than set too many and not achieve any of them. And so I'm just gonna go onto my notes and do a goal audit where I remove any goals that are no longer aligning and then add new goals. As I was sitting here auditing my goals and writing new ones and removing old ones, it reminded me of getting in the zone of writing your goals. And this could be consuming music that makes you feel inspired. It could also be scrolling on Pinterest or like reading quotes that make you feel inspired, because you want to write goals when you're in a good frame of mind, when you're feeling inspired and you're feeling capable of actually achieving them. And the easiest way for me to get in that mind space is just to put on my favorite music and listen to songs that make me feel really inspired and happy and capable. And then another thing that helps just define your goals even deeper is write a goal and then underneath write the why. Why do you have this goal on your list? And then what are the outcomes of if this goal happens? And I find that like the writing the outcomes part is so inspiring for me, because I'm like, well, if I achieve this goal, then this outcome happens. And then it makes me more inspired to want to do it. And then also you can include a little section underneath called daily, which is like, what are the daily actions that you need to do to make this goal happen? I will show you guys here exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like this is a really good structure just so that you really understand your goals at a very deep level and understand the impact that it has on your life. I feel like I didn't make my vision board that long ago, but my vision board is the cover to my lock screen. There's so many things on my vision board, and I will walk you guys through my vision board, but the point of this chapter is to update your vision board and exchange pictures that are no longer aligning with you, or just like your goals, maybe some of these you've achieved and you feel like you can remove them from your vision board. The way that I made my vision board was I just went on Canva. You don't even need a subscription to do this. And then I just created a blank document and then added all of the pictures that I felt like aligned with me from Pinterest. And I was super, super intentional when I made my vision board. I feel like it's so easy to go on Pinterest and find things that are just not really relevant, like just pictures that you like but don't have a lot of meaning. And so I actually used ChatGPT to help tell me exactly what keywords to look up on Pinterest to bring up photos that were in that vibe. Okay, so here's my vision board. And I like to have a word of the year. My word this year is creativity, and I still feel like that resonates. And then my quote was, "This year I step into the version of myself I've always desired to be." And I honestly still feel like those resonate really well. So I wanted to do more holistic cooking and really lean into learning different meals that were super nutritious. So I feel like I've done a really good job at this, but I do still want to continue to lean into this. Friendships, I want to keep this here because I haven't made as many new friends as I wanted to, and I think it's just because I haven't been pushing myself outside of the box enough. I've just been like in my comfort zone. Loving home, I feel like I have that, and I even feel like I could remove this. I have a wedding on my vision board, and although my wedding isn't until 2026, I feel like this just represents planning the wedding and being kind of in my bride era. We have learning and growing, and this photo represents like a peaceful mind and then learning while like doing self-care. I just feel like that's the era that I'm in right now. Career, I want to continue to post and grow on YouTube, so that's gonna stay there. Abundant creativity, since that's my word this year, I definitely want to keep this. This is my hair goal this year. I wanted to grow thick, long, natural blonde hair. Norway road trip, that's coming up in just a few weeks. I'm so excited about this. And then for health and mindset, I wanted to continue to get better at yoga. I think I could remove this photo. I think what this meant was just connecting in nature a little bit more. And then journaling, which I think I'm also going to remove that right now. The best way to add new photos to your vision board is to use Pinterest and to use ChatGPT to help you generate what keywords to search. I used to just spend hours and hours like scrolling on my homepage and searching things that I thought would bring up good results. And so this has saved me a lot of time and energy. So this is the prompt. Hi ChatGPT, I'm making my vision board for 2025 and I want to manifest my dream life. Some of the things that I'm focusing on are, and then you list some of your goals. Fitness, mental health, whatever your career goals are, and you should be really, really specific here. Can you please give me some aesthetic and specific Pinterest keywords to search so that I can find visuals that align with my vision? And then it literally gives you so many keywords and phrases based on each goal that you have. I just made a few changes to this vision board, like adding a wellness section. I really want to continue to prioritize that this year. I changed out this picture so that I just felt always inspired to make healthy choices. This is what I think friendship would actually look like, doing a healthy activity together. I struggle a lot with feeling the need to always be productive, and so I want to get in the better habit of like enjoying the moment and not feeling guilty about it. And then I added a little picture for learning Swedish. I want to improve my style. So those are 3 images about that. And then I added a different fitness picture here. And those are all the changes that I made to the vision board. I personally love to have mine as my lock screen because I'm on my computer all the time and it's just a constant reminder of what we're manifesting and what we're creating in our life. So I'm a little bit embarrassed of what is happening on the floor, but part of my mid-year reset is doing a physical decluttering. And so I just spent the last 30 minutes in my closet throwing things on the floor that are ill-fitting, they're too small, they're too big. I haven't worn them in over a year. I'm saving it for a special occasion. And I put all of that on the floor and I realized that I should have gotten rid of all of these things years ago. I will be donating all of these to my local donation center. When I am living in a clean and organized environment, I feel more productive. I also feel calmer. Sometimes things get disorganized and they get hectic, and it's just time to go through them and organize them. Last week I did this in my kitchen. I moved all the things in my kitchen around. I basically had given prime shelf space to a bunch of alcohol bottles, and I rarely drink, so I was never reaching for those bottles, and I realized this would be a way better place for my cups to go. So I just did this in my kitchen. Now I've done it in my closet. I don't really need to do it in my bathroom because that's pretty minimal, but it feels so good to just get rid of things that you no longer need or use or want. And so this is your sign to finally go through your closet and get rid of the pieces that you've had in your closet for years, that you haven't worn in years, and that don't even fit you right. My dog is being a psycho right now. If I could do a digital detox every single month, that would be great for me, but I just honestly hate going through my camera roll. I hate deleting things. I hate cleaning out my emails, and it's gotten to a point where it's out of hand again. The last time I did this was in the beginning of the year where I came through and I cleaned everything out. So I'm setting only a 30-minute timer, and I am going to prioritize cleaning out my notes app and cleaning my photos app. Elo! Hey queen, hi! So I'm only gonna give myself 30 minutes to do as much digital detox as I can. My email is somewhat under control because I have folders and things automatically go into the folders. If you also wanna do a digital detox, you could focus on your camera roll, your notes app, deleting apps that you don't use anymore, cleaning out your email inbox, cleaning up your text. Recently, I also went through and like deleted old contacts that I didn't need anymore. And so one thing that I think I'm gonna try to do is like have a category each month that I'm like digital detoxing. But right now my camera roll is just completely out of control. I don't even know how many photos. I don't even know how to know anymore. Oh, well, I have 40,000 photos, so it's not that horrible, but I'm gonna go through and clean it up. I only did 30 minutes of my digital detox, and I felt like I got so much done in 30 minutes. I was able to go through all of the notes on my phone and delete notes that I didn't need anymore. I was able to get through a lot of pictures. I think I deleted like 1,000 screenshots and videos that I didn't need anymore. And then I was able to go out in and clean up my inbox, so I only have 15 emails in my inbox. And I feel like doing a digital detox, it can feel so overwhelming and just be one of those tasks that you just put off forever because it's not like an emergency task. But that's why it's such a great idea to just break it into small chunks. You don't need to do everything in one sitting, even if you just tackle like your camera roll or your notes app or your contacts or your email or like whatever. If you can just tackle one thing and get that feeling more organized, you're gonna feel so much better. By the middle of the year, you kind of know what's working and what's not working, and you also know what you've been consistent with and then what you want to put more energy into. And so we already did our goal setting earlier this week, but one thing that I always forget to do is to do a nervous system check-in or kind of a mental health check-in. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm going to follow a few journal prompts. I personally have noticed this year that I struggle with adding a lot of things to my to-do list and then feeling bad if I don't get everything done. And I'm really trying to get better at not overloading my to-do list and then also not feeling pressure if I don't get everything on it checked off. Because for me, it makes me feel anxious, and there actually is something called time anxiety, which is where you feel like you're running out of time to like do everything that you need to do, or maybe you're running out of time to achieve your goals or whatever. So I definitely have time anxiety when it comes to my goals and also just like getting things done. And so that's what I'm going to be reflectively journaling about. And the questions that I'm going to be journaling is, when was the last time I had a day to do nothing on my to-do list? What did that day look like and how did it feel? And then the follow-up question to that is, if I could design an ideal not to-do list day, what would that include? And the reason that I am journaling about this is because it's focusing not on what the output of doing the things is, it's focusing on the output of just being and being a little bit more present. So I'm going to set myself a 30-minute timer and do this journaling. I want to write for the entire 30 minutes. Doing this allows you enough time to get everything that you want to say out, but it also gives you so much time that you might write things that are not on the top of your mind. And a lot of times our subconscious mind is thinking things or feeling things that we don't even notice anymore. And so doing this type of writing is an amazing way to get those thoughts and feelings up to the surface. Today, I want to reprioritize my wellness rituals. I feel like sometimes there are so many wellness slash beauty rituals that I want to do, and it's just not realistic in a week or in a day. So I want to go in and I want to reprioritize what wellness and beauty things that I want to do every single week slash every single month and add them to my calendar. I found that the best way to remember to do the rituals that you love is to just add it on your calendar. And this way it takes a lot of the thought out of it. So you're not thinking, okay, what wellness rituals do I love doing? What do I need to remember? It's just like already on your calendar and repeats every single week. And I am so guilty of this myself, wanting to do a million different rituals every single day, but be realistic with how much time and energy that you actually have for these. What I always tell myself is consistency with it is better than overwhelming yourself and then not doing any of them. So if that means that you're only doing your red light therapy once a week, then fine, at least you're doing it once a week, every single week. Or if you can only show up to the gym twice a week, fine, at least you're being consistent every single week with it and you know that it's on your calendar, so you know it's gonna happen. How I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna use Notion. I built a template a while ago that I use, and I will link it in the description if you guys want to download it and use it. But I basically have added on here all of the rituals that I do and want to do every single week. And so I will just go and drag this into the day that I will do this week and make sure that I also have it on my calendar, just like a wellness block on my calendar for what time I actually want to do it. But this helps me not forget which things that I want to do. And on this calendar is like gua sha, strength training, zone 2 cardio, meal prep, doing breath work, red light therapy, morning sunlight, taking supplements. So there's a lot on here, and I'm actually also going to add a few things on here that I've recently started doing. You don't have to do everything, but choose 3 things and stick to it for 30 days and notice how you feel. If it's something that's like a mindset thing, notice how your mindset is. Or if it's a physical thing, how is your body feeling from meal prepping every week? Or how is your body feeling from strength training every week? I have all of my goals that I wrote out earlier this week in all the different categories: health and wellness, mental and emotional health, career and creativity, finances, relationships, personal growth, fun travel life experiences, and then just life. And even though I wrote the why and the how underneath each goal, I want to go in here and I want to write down 3 habits that I need to start implementing every single day or every single week to actually get closer to these goals, because goals without an action plan are really hard to achieve. And I've just found that if I don't know how exactly I'm going to achieve the goal, I often don't end up achieving it. But if I have an action plan, and even if that action plan changes as I'm like experimenting and staying consistent, you will get closer to it because you're actively putting in energy to get closer to it. And so I'm writing down only 3 things that I need to start doing daily to get closer to this. And obviously not everything on here is a daily thing. So I'm just focusing on the things that I do need to show up daily for. I am just going to write this on the goal sheet so that it's all just in one sheet here. Once I know what I'm supposed to be doing every single day to get closer to the goal, it's really easy for me to implement that into my schedule. And either I'll like add it into my calendar or I'll switch what I'm currently doing to get closer to that goal for what is now going to be working. And honestly, this changes a lot, and it's a good thing if it changes. It means that you're trying, and a lot of times different strategies will work at different moments. I feel like I've said this so much in this video, so I'm really sorry, but if you're consistently showing up for your habits and your goals and your rituals, and you're doing that consistently, you're going to get closer to building your dream life and actually achieving your goals and having these benefits that come with doing these rituals, because you're putting in energy to actually see results. And consistency is the number one thing to see results in anything, whether that's like a physical transformation or like starting your own business or literally like going through school. Like, you just have to keep showing up for those goals every single day. So for me, this little what to do daily gives me a direction where I'm running so that I'm not doing tasks that are a waste of time or energy. It's so easy to think, okay, I need to do a million things to make this goal happen. But if you really break it down, what's the one most important thing that you have to do to achieve this goal? Just one. So I'm just gonna sit with this for a few minutes and think about what are the 3 things that I need to do daily to make these goals happen. My favorite thing about doing a reset is you don't have to wait until the new year. You also don't have to wait until the middle of the year to do a reset. You can do a reset whenever you feel like you need to reset. So I hope that this video inspired you guys with how to do your own reset and even the benefits of doing one. After doing this 7-day reset, I feel so much more grounded. I feel like I have a really clear direction of where the rest of my year is heading. And I also have it fresh in my brain what I want to do for the rest of the year. Sometimes all we need is just a little reminder of where we're going and how to get there. I'm wishing you luck on your own 7-day reset. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.